fatal day, and the wind begins to speak with a roar that no man can fail to hear. In a 40-mile-an-hour gale, the center span weaves like a ribbon in a swinging twist that you wouldn't believe possible unless you could see it as you do now. No structure of steel and concrete can stand such a strain. Steel girders buckle and giant cables snap like puny threads. There it goes! Engineers are divided as to the cause of the disaster. Some claim it was the use of solid girders. Others differ. But whatever the reason, Tacoma will rebuild. This time a bridge that will not provide a super thrill in the news.
Pretty wild, right? That might have looked like an old movie, but that was a real newscast and footage of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse, which occurred in the state of Washington in the year 1940. The bridge began swaying almost immediately after being built, earning it the nickname Galloping Gertie. And just a few short months later, the dramatic collapse you saw in the video occurred. In our last lesson, we focused on scientific inquiry, figuring out what is happening and why. But in this case, engineers weren't just asking what caused the collapse. They had a different challenge. How do we design a bridge that won't fail like this again? That's where engineering design comes in. Engineering design is all about creating solutions to real-world problems. Instead of explaining the world, engineers work to build, test, and improve designs, often under real constraints. These are limitations like cost, materials, and safety that could restrict your options for a solution. While science and engineering have some very distinct differences, they do often go hand in hand. This is because engineering design uses scientific knowledge, and scientists often rely on engineering practices to develop new tools or equipment needed for experiments. As you go through this course, you'll have several opportunities to use engineering design and put your science knowledge to use. Let's take a close look at this bridge disaster and walk through how engineers would respond to a failure like this and design a better solution. Before jumping to solutions, engineers first needed to clearly identify the problem. The bridge had become unstable in the wind, which caused the bridge to twist and tear itself apart. So the engineers were left with a clear problem. How can we design a bridge that stays stable in windy conditions? The engineers initially focused on this bridge specifically, but their work would become much more important in the grand scheme of bridge design. What they learned in this project ended up affecting bridge safety regulations for years to come, making bridges safer for travelers all over the world. With the problem identified, the engineers began to research, because in order to solve the problem, they needed to understand more about this specific collapse. If you were an engineer, what specific information would you want to know or find out before designing a new bridge? Especially if it was replacing one that had just collapsed. Pause and list 2 to 3 things you would want to research. The engineers studied what happened during the collapse, reviewed weather conditions, and examined how the bridge moved in the wind. They also looked at existing bridge designs to understand what had worked well in the past for windy conditions. With a clearer understanding of the problem, engineers began to brainstorm possible solutions. There wasn't just one idea. They explored many. Some designs focused on making the bridge heavier and more rigid. Others suggested changing the shape of the bridge to allow wind to pass through more easily. Some engineers focused on the materials used. At this stage, no reasonable idea was immediately rejected. This step is all about generating possibilities. Another important part of this step was identifying constraints. What do you think the primary constraints would be when designing a bridge? Factors such as cost, available materials, and the need to span a long distance across water will be at the top of the list. After brainstorming, engineers selected a design to test. They compared their ideas based on how well each one met the criteria: stability, safety, cost, and practicality. The goal was to choose a design that had the best chance of solving the problem while working within real-world limits. This selected design would become the first version they would build and test a model of, but it wasn't the final answer yet. Once engineers selected a design, the next step was to create and test a prototype. A prototype is a working model of the design. It might be smaller or simplified, but it allows engineers to see how their idea works in real life. For bridges, engineers often build scale models and test them in controlled environments, like wind tunnels. In this case, they exposed their bridge prototype designs to strong winds to see how they responded. They carefully observed how much the bridge moved, twisted, or vibrated. They recorded and organized every measurement as detailed data. Next comes evaluation. Engineers analyzed the data to determine how well the design met their criteria. Did the bridge remain stable? Did it handle wind better than the original design? Were there any new problems? Most importantly, engineers look for weaknesses. Even if a design works better than the original, it still might not be good enough. At this stage, engineers don't expect perfection. They expect to learn what needs to be improved. After testing and evaluating their prototype, engineers move to one of the most important steps in the entire process: improving the design. This step is often called iteration, because it is a repeating cycle of testing, modifying, and testing again. This is because the first design is almost never perfect. In fact, engineers expect it to have problems. Based on their test results, engineers identify what didn't work. Using this evidence, they redesign the prototype to fix those specific issues and test it again. For bridges like the Tacoma Narrows redesign, engineers made multiple changes to the models, adjusting the structure, materials, and shape, testing each version to see how it performed under wind conditions. Had the original bridge engineers in the 1930s been more diligent during this stage of the design process, Galloping Gertie may not have collapsed to begin with. Over time, these improvements led to a design that could handle the forces that caused the original bridge to fail. Based on a combination of brainstormed ideas that were repeatedly tested, the new Tacoma Narrows Bridge was built with an open truss structure, allowing wind to pass through instead of pushing against solid sides. Engineers also made the bridge stronger and more rigid, adding supports to reduce movement. This earned it the nickname Sturdy Gertie, an acknowledgement that it was a big improvement over its predecessor. It was so successful that the bridge is still in use today, over 70 years later. These changes were based on repeated testing and a better understanding of how wind affects structures. This is what engineering design looks like in the real world, using evidence from failures and tests to create safer, more effective solutions. Once engineers develop a successful solution, they share their results. This includes not just the final design, but also what they learned during testing and redesign. Sharing this information helps other engineers build better designs in the future and avoid the same mistakes. So while the original bridge collapse was a failure, it also led to better designs for bridges everywhere, because engineers used evidence, testing, and iteration to improve their solutions. In this lesson, you'll have a chance to practice the engineering design process with your own engineering project. Remember that an engineering project isn't about following a specific set of instructions. It's about brainstorming a design based on the materials available and testing that design so you can improve it. In this case, you'll work to build a tall tower that can support a load such as a heavy book or soda bottle. It's not too different from designing a bridge. And everyone's final product may come out looking very different. That's okay. You'll find more details about the project in your lesson activities, so be sure to check it out when you see it appear in your learning path. That's it for today, scientists and engineers. I'm Jenna, and I'll see you later as we continue exploring the vast mysteries of our world.
Hey, hey.